This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Welcome to a numbers game. Kelly Bidlin, Matt Brown here, live from Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network. Matt Brown, good to see you. We're off to a little bit of technical issues this morning. We'll make it work, though, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
We'll make it work,
Listen,
you know?
We have graphics.
That's right. We get graphics.
So there we go. We got graphics on this. We're going to have a great show for you guys. Will Hill's going to join us to talk all things sports out there. Dallin Cuff on college basketball. Jonathan Von Tobel on the NBA. Whatever in the hell else he wants to talk to us about. He can do that. It's JVT's earned that.
Jam-packed NBA slate
talk about
today,
all
though.
the different things that he wants to here. We'll be country clubbing, talking some AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am if you have not done so already. Podcast is available out there right now, Long Shots, wherever you get your podcasts, or on our very own shiny new YouTube channel.
That's right. Go check it out.
Which is weirdly, you got to put the at Long Shots Pod.
Just go VSiN Long Shots, put it in old Google, and it will come up.
It'll show up.
Yeah.
It'll show up. All right, well, we got that to do as well. We'll talk a little bit of NFL stuff, too. Of course, NBA, what Kelly's got in his account as we approach the end of an odd end of the first half of the season as we talk about some of these games last night. But let's get into some college basketball here, Kelly, really quickly. And number 13, Purdue, they were 1.5-point dogs, beat Nebraska 80-77 in overtime. At one point, they were up 22 points in the second half. That got erased, but Nebraska ended up winning the game outright. Anyway, as small dogs, Nebraska now lost 3 of 4 after starting 20-0 on the season. I know Nebraska fans were incredibly happy with the way that the team was going, and now 3 of 4 down as Purdue beats them outright as small dogs.
Yeah, big one there. We wondered how long that was going to be able to last with Nebraska getting out of the gates and going undefeated, 20-0, and 3 of 4 now. They fall, then coming back to earth a little bit. But big win in overtime there from Purdue.
Miami beat North Carolina 75-66. Hurricanes were the favorite in the game despite being unranked versus the number 11 team in the land. So the Tar Heels do go down there in that one. Wisconsin was 9.5-point dogs, went on the road and beat number 8 Illinois outright in overtime, 92-90, to go along with another outright upset we had over a highly ranked team. And TCU is a 7.5-point dog, beat Iowa State 62-55 as well. So we were able to get a couple of big dogs home yesterday on the money line if people were out there on those. The NBA was a small slate, but certainly not a slate that didn't have a lot of action. The Knicks lost at home in overtime to the lowly Pacers, Kelly Bidlin, 137-134. And we talked about this yesterday when we were saying, hey, man, this is kind of how you want to play Jalen Brunson from a prop perspective. You either play alts or you just lay off 40 points.
Did you end up going over on him?
Let it.
Things we say and
the
don't
26.5 line on Brunson. He goes for 40 and 8. Karl Anthony Towns had 22 and 14 boards. Josh Hart had a 15-11-11 triple-double, and they still lost the game, Kelly. That being said, the Pacers shot 40% from 3, and they scored the first 9 points in overtime, which is pretty tough to come back from, and that will equal a loss for this Knicks team. Certainly one they did not think they were going to lose.
No, not at all. This was I was watching the end of this game. As soon as the Knicks were able to tie it, they had Cat go to the free throw line. It felt like, okay, this was a great game by Indiana all throughout, able to put up some big points, and this is where it all comes undone. We talk about it all the time, overtime, where dogs go to die. And so right away, Indiana goes, piles up 9 points over there in overtime. And Knicks, just can't catch up. They put some good plays down the stretch. They actually got it a lot closer. 137-134, your final. That scored closer than it probably really was in overtime. But yeah, man, this Knicks team, it's one game. It's one game.
It is one game. But if you see a box score where Jalen Brunson goes for 40 and 8 assists, Karl-Anthony Towns goes for 22 points and 14 boards, and Josh Hart has a 15-11-11 triple-double. You assume they won that game probably by margin.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But this is, the Knicks season, right? The Knicks season of, man, you got to win the NBA Cup. They start off the season strong, and they go through that horrible drought for a while, pick things back up and get hot again. It's been a very streaky team this NBA season, and for one of the, contenders in the Eastern Conference, as we talked about, it's not something you want to see. You don't want to see it right now. You definitely want to start getting into an area where you're playing solid, consistent, good basketball down the stretch here.
Cooper Flagg had 27 points. Naj Marshall had 31 off the bench, but the Mavericks still lost to the Suns 120-111. Suns had 7 players in double figures there in this one. Kelly, Mavs 23% from 3 and 73% from the line. And when you look at a game that you lose by 9 points and see that you shot 23% from 3 and 73% from the line, it almost tells you the whole story right there.
Yeah, it does. This Suns team, this was a team I did not have very high expectations for heading into this season. They have been one of the surprises of the NBA season. I think their head coach, Jordan Knott, should absolutely be getting a lot more attention for Coach of the Year. I'm a little surprised he is as long as he is in that market. They've been great. We will see them back in action here again this evening. The Mavericks, I think we talked about these tanking teams yesterday. We did not have the Dallas Mavericks on there. We talked about, hey, you're going to run out a lot of these young players, but when you have Cooper Flagg, yeah, you're a little bit better than some of the other young players that you can roll out there. He plays 36 minutes, 27 points. Just kind of looking at the rest of the starters, okay, it's 17 for Gafford. No, him and P.J. Washington have been dealing with some injury stuff, but 26 for P.J. Washington, 15 for Tyus Jones, 31 for Max Christie. When Marvin Bagley is getting 24 minutes and Chris Middleton's getting 22 after what's happened with what's come of their careers over the past couple years, yeah, okay, this is what Dallas is probably going to be doing down the stretch. Najee Marshall's awesome, though. He's someone I always loved in New Orleans. He's been playing great here this season for Dallas, a little bit under the radar and not a great team out west, but really looking forward to what he can do, what he can start doing with this team next year.
Rockets beat the Clippers 102-95, and another one of those deals where you can look at the box score and kind of see where the difference in this game lies. Clippers 27% from 3 and 65% from the line, where the Rockets went 50% from 3 and 89% from the line, and you see a 7-point deficit. And that'll do it just about every single time. Rockets 14-28 from downtown. Clippers really struggled from out there, and they lose by 7.
Yeah, another bet we mentioned yesterday, looking at the under. We were surprised that total was getting steamed up. The under comes home easily in this game. And you're examining what the Clippers are able to do. Kawhi has been awesome. I actually think we like to hate on Kawhi so much for how much time he misses and everything. He's really been one of, if not the best players in the NBA over the past month or two with what he's done on a night-to-night basis. 24 points, 8 rebounds. For him, John Collins, I had 17, but you're at a point now with James Harden out of town, Matt, right, where it's just where's the rest of the help coming from for this team? And look, a team that you want to say is thinking and planning ahead, but they're going to be right there in that play-in range. Really not going to be falling out of that this year. So be interesting to see what they do down the stretch. And then 8 guys play for the Houston Rockets. They are going through major issues right now, trying to figure out what works offensively. And 26 from Durant is solid. You're getting 22 from Şengün that's solid. It's just what we saw at the beginning of the season in the impact that Steven Adams makes, even at this point in his career. It's just wild what this team is, how they've struggled without him in the lineup, really dominating the glass and helping with the offensive boards and giving them more just field goal attempts than most of their opponents on most nights. So just going to be something interesting to monitor, I think, down the stretch.
And as you said with the Clippers, the interesting thing about this is just the Kings are dead. The Pelicans are dead. The Jazz are dead. The Mavericks are going to play hard, but they just don't have enough talent to win right now. So it's you might not have a choice but to be in the play-in. I mean, the Clippers are, by default are going to end up in the play-in because all these other teams are just not going to win.
It's look, man, I think there's a lot of people that supported the Clippers moves that they did. I know you were always it was going to be tough to get past the Thunder. It's going to be tough to get past the Spurs and the Nuggets and those teams at the top. And I understand why they think punting on the season's fine. But when you have a collection of talent like Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Ivica Zubac, we saw what they did last year in the postseason. Push the Nuggets to 7 games, right? it just is a lack of belief. It feels like an astonishing lack of belief, right? In what you've put together.
State that we sit right now, like I said, likely to be playing in the postseason. No Luka, no LeBron, no Ayton, no Reeves. Spurs destroy the Lakers 136-108. Wemby goes for 40 points and 12 boards. He only played 26 minutes. He only played 8 minutes in the second half, Kelly Bidlin. He had 25 in the first quarter, 37 in the first half. And with that, he'll be a nice little fresh Wemby tonight out there on the court. We'll talk about that game a little bit later. Lakers played 11 guys at least 13 minutes in the game, including Bronny, who had 12 points in 25 minutes for them. LeBron, the big story coming out of this, missed his 18th game of the season, which does make him ineligible for all of the postseason awards. So that will snap his 21-season streak of being All-NBA.
Yeah, it will. It will. Which, I mean, heck of a streak, right? Like, it was going to happen at some point, right? Like, 21 years is incredible to get that done. But, yeah, that was it was a game we had circled yesterday. I was able to get in a little bit on the Spurs before the line jumped up immediately. We talked about that. It was one I was going to be eyeing yesterday. I think I'm going to be right back on him today, right? Wemby, what was it, 25 in the first quarter, 30 in the 37 in the first half, and he said he barely plays in the second half. Hey, they're in Golden State tonight. I no Steph Curry. Spurs are definitely a side that I've got circled to go back in on tonight. Yeah,
this was one that if you were able, there were a couple of books who opened the line for the game tonight before the game last night. You could get 5.5 last night.
Well, I missed that one.
Yeah, you could get 5.5 last night. We do not live in a market in which FanDuel exists or Bet365, which both had up numbers at 5.5 there on the Spurs. So if you were in one of those markets and you did get in on that number, good on you.
Yeah,
because I would love to have that in the account right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt.
We'll talk about
that.
it coming up, though. I think current number is still bettable, Matt.
All right. Well, yeah, we got some NBA stuff to talk about. We'll still close out some of the news that's going on out there in the sports world. And what happened yesterday in the Olympics? We took a couple of medals. Let's get to that as well. A number game here on a Wednesday.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
What's up, guys? It's JVT. Story Bonatoni and I are taking over Follow the Money for the next week, and we've got a good first show on tap for Wednesday. Mike Palm's going to join us. We'll get his thoughts on Olympic hockey. Matt Humans is going to join the program as well, as we have a big slate in college basketball. We'll get his best bets, and we begin our look ahead to the Major League Baseball season. First team preview up, the Washington Nationals. You're not going to want to miss it, so join us. It's Follow the Money, 1 to 4 Pacific, 4 to 7 Eastern here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers game here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown in for Gil Alexander. Kelly Bidlin here on the desk with me as we get through all of the action from last night, including one that we had going on here in the studio yesterday. Kelly, I don't know if you saw, but we medaled in curling.
Oh,
unfortunately, good news, bad news situation. The good news is we medaled. The bad news is that we lost.
And you know what? That doesn't help my bets at all because all mine are on golds.
Oh, and see, we could have stole one there because that wasn't one that we were supposed to have. We lost to a Swedish brother and sister team. They're over in the mixed curling, so a silver for the U.S., not the gold.
Man, that's a lot of time to spend with your sibling, just practicing curling.
So apparently, because I had to read into this just a tad, apparently they're not only this, coached by their father growing up.
Oh, it sounds miserable.
So brother, sister, coached by their father growing up. So this is like a curling family, like through and through.
Man, I love family time, Matt. You need to some time apart from each other, though, especially growing up. Oh, boy, that's a lot of time.
But they get it done. They win the gold. U.S. takes the silver. That said, the U.S. women shut out Canada 5-0 yesterday in the hockey. So we went in and showed. I know you're listening up there.
Yeah, what's up,
Game Plus? Yeah, we came in. We showed what was going on.
And let's make sure Jake Hahn 3-0 in his picks yesterday. Yeah, those unders getting home in the hockey games. Good job by Jake. Matt, now's the time to talk though, because I think the men play right. Like they start playing.
And then
today.
the finals is not like until the 19th, so like we could still lose. I mean, this is still early.
So now's
on.
the time to talk trash. That's right. Yeah,
like they could come back and smoke us like 5-0 in the final. Doesn't really matter. But
I don't want to hear about it. Like 90% of the NHL's Canadians.
But we got this one. All right, we got this one. This was a win. We'll chalk it up. And like you said, we got a couple days to talk about it, so we will. Want some NFL news coming out, and we'll talk a couple of these divisions a little bit later. But, Kelly, the Commanders are talking about how maybe they're going to be using Jaden Daniels under center a little bit more than they have in the first couple of years with him there. So they ran the NFL low 192 number of plays with quarterback under the center over the past 2 seasons. And so, look, I think it's fine. I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't do a ton of that at LSU, so it would definitely be a different setup for him, not only from the NFL standpoint, but just for the stuff that he even did his final year in college, in which he was able to go out and win the Heisman Trophy with all of that. But, I mean, I look at this Commanders team, and I obviously was talking about it yesterday. I kind of like the Giants, at least a little bit in that division. I'm not expecting a big jump here from this Commander squad, but who knows? Maybe they do need a little bit of an offensive change to get a different identity.
It's usually things like this, news items like this, I usually don't feel like we need to talk about, but with how much Jaden Daniels has played out of the shotgun, I was a little surprised to see that kind of story come down. I know you want the versatility, you want to be able to run different things offensively, but I guess I was a little surprised. If they're really going to force that, is that something that we think or should expect him to struggle with early in the season? And I would think
other
there's
thing
something there.
From a prop perspective, probably season-long type of stuff is I think you gotta ratchet it down for his rushing yards because they're not going to run him out from under center. So this is a deal where if the books don't make a major adjustment, I think on principle alone, you have to play him under on rushing yards. One, not only because you're not going to be running really out of that set as it is anyway, but two, you're probably, given his injury situation, you're not going to take away his legs, Kelly, but you might. But what you might do is try to maybe knock it down. Knock it down a tad just to see if you can keep from additional hits on him and stuff. I mean, I know we hate to say it. But he is. Look, he's a smaller dude. He's a skinnier dude. And those hits, I'm sure, rack up a lot quicker on him than they do on some of these other guys. And maybe this is just a way for them to get an offense in place that discourages him maybe from running as much.
Yeah. See, I think that it's tough using
on his own. At least there'll be designed runs and stuff like that, but just on its own.
See, I guess that's where I go a little opposite. I'm like, hey, if you're going to spread it out wide, if you see 7 easy yards to go pick up, go do it, Jaden. Right? Like those are 7 yards that most other people can't get. I guess I think of more of the I'm not designing many plays that are specifically for him to go get hit. They bleed backs and stuff where he's going to go off the edge. I guess that's where I think about it a little bit more. So I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to watch, right? Maybe takeaways a little bit more of the read option stuff. Maybe won't see as much of that. But yeah, I think it's an interesting note and something to watch here over the offseason and as we get into the season.
Betting note here on the golf world, Justin Thomas likely to return on the Florida swing, so he's going to go in and try to get ready to do all of that. I'm going to say this right now. It'll be a massive fade for me from a betting standpoint until I see it with my own eyes. I love Justin Thomas, and I bet him maybe more than most people have over the last half decade, but it's surgery.
Yeah.
And it's coming back from a surgery on your back, and we've seen this with golfers before. I'm not saying he's not going to get all the way back. I'm sure that he will and all of that, but I'm not going to be betting him right out of the gate. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's look, we've seen this in the past with other golfers. Will Zalatoris coming to mind, back injuries.
And he's still not back.
Yeah. So I think it's got to be a wait and see. I know people are going to be excited when they see Justin Thomas back playing. It's a shame. It's a shame at this point in his career, obviously, for have to go through this. But something as far as a betting standpoint, like you said, wait and see with him. Wait and see.
And for you, Charlie Woods, going to be a Seminole. You see this?
I did. Welcome to Tallahassee, Charlie. There you go. Picking the right squad.
I'm sure he won't be popular on campus.
I'm sure not.
I'm sure the women on campus will have no idea that he is Tiger Woods' kid, and he's probably already worth $75 million or whatever.
We were talking randomly. I think this was last week or the week before. Gil and I were talking about some of this NIL money, and you and I have talked about this. I'm not going to speak for you for LSU. I don't know what you do with LSU, but I know you and I have talked about the annoying phone calls we get like every other week from some poor sophomore who's just trying to work a part-time job, and it's, hey, we just wanted to see if you'd like to make a donation. Like, no, I gave you my money. My time is up. Okay, I spent 4.5 great years in Tallahassee. That's right, 4.5 great years in Tallahassee. I don't need any more connection with the school, so I don't plan on contributing any NIL money anytime recently, Matt. So this is, if Tiger Woods can just help me out.
I'm not rich enough.
Exactly. If Tiger Woods could just help me out and send his kid to Tallahassee, it takes care of problems.
Look, LSU's got Shaq and the Canes guy.
Exactly.
Like go get money from Shaq and the Canes guy.
The Canes guys from LSU? I did not know that.
Yeah. When I was at LSU, there was one Canes.
Really?
In the entire country. It was right off campus. And now there's thousands of them across the whole world.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a billionaire with a B.
The first one I ever saw was when I moved out here.
Yeah.
There was none of them were in Florida yet. I know they are now.
Yeah.
I thought it was more of a West Coast
No, it was Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at that. Todd Graves is his name. He's like I said, billionaire with a B now for slinging chicken fingers.
It's incredible. It's also one of those things, like when I did come out here too, you never think when someone's like, you got to try this place, great chicken fingers. You're like, it's a chicken finger. How great could it be? It's a really good chicken finger, man.
And it's a great business model. You buy chicken, you buy bread, and that's it.
And fries.
And
fries, coleslaw, bread, chicken. That's their whole menu.
That's the whole menu. That's it. You don't have to have 40 different SKUs of things. Like, boom, there it is.
That's what's going to happen at Biddy's Bar one day, man. I'm just going to have pizza. That's it. Pizza in the bar.
There you go.
I've already got it planned out.
Pizza and booze.
Yeah. It's a full bar. Full bar. I'm just doing one food item. It's just pizza.
Guys, head over to VSiN.com. You can see everything going on in the entire world of sports. We've got all the golf stuff over there now, so you can see Wes's write-up. We'll talk about the Pebble Beach Pro-Am here in a little bit. We're going to have all of the Olympic hockey stuff from Jonathan Davis. Of course, college basketball every single day from Greg Peterson. Zach Cohen's in there on the NBA. Steve Makinen's got your Daytona 500 simulations, and Tyler Shoemaker in with some college basketball projections as well. If you're not a VSiN Pro subscriber, you can try us out for as little as $9.99 for the first month. And if you already are, then go in there and read the articles, all right? Even the stuff that you don't think that you care about. Let me tell you, the Daytona 500 coming around. We're going to have not one but two different guests this week.
That's right. We got Phil Bobbitt coming up, who's had a lot of success on this show, giving out some winners. So we'll have him on Friday. And then, I think Wyatt Tomchuk going to stop by on
our very own Wyatt Tomchuk.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the season had ended and was starting back up again. I had a futures ticket that I don't know if I won or not. I'll have to
I'm going to guess you didn't win it.
I'm going to guess I didn't.
I'm going to guess Isaiah or Wyatt or someone here would have let you know if you did.
It was an
someone with a B?
It was an accidental bet. It was one where I thought I was betting that week's race, but for whatever reason, the Caesars app had put the season-long thing above that week's race.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
And so I clicked the thing, whatever, and then the guy ended up winning, and I was like, "Where's my money?" And then I realized I got actually bet him for the whole season. I had not bet him for that race. Yeah, for that
brutal.
race. I know, it was unbelievable. But now I have at least bet a futures before, and I lost.
Yeah,
it.
but it's
I'm
over.
0-1.
Yeah,
I'm 0-1.
Season starts again.
We'll get back around to NBA here in just a little bit, but when we come back, Will Hill, our very own Will Hill, going to join us, give us some college basketball plays and an NFL future.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers game here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown, Kelly Bidlin. Appreciate you guys being with us here. Sirius Channel 158, YouTube TV, VSiN Watch app, terrestrial stations across this great country of ours. Fred tweets in that he's still digging out. Did you see this picture? He sent it to you as well.
Fred's been
two cars still under snow.
Fred lives in Buffalo, I believe. He I don't know if he does it full time. Operates, just helps out. He operates a snowplow up there. So I complained about it being cold here sometime in December, Matt.
Oh boy.
Fred, without fail, has sent me a picture of the snow in Buffalo every single morning.
Well, I mean, 2 cars buried in snow, and yet again yesterday, people walking around in short sleeves and shorts and stuff and everything here.
Fred, the second one's brutal. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like it's a shelf of snow on top of a car. Somehow
That is
a car.
That's going to be a Volvo. I see the S60 logo there. Whatever.
Yep.
So it's a buried Volvo.
Yeah,
Good
luck moving that one.
So yeah, unfortunate.
Fred, stay warm, buddy.
Listen, we joke here when it gets like below 65 that it's cold, pretty much. And I forget that people live like that.
It's wild. Yeah, it's wild. Judd O'Connor tweeting in, Spurs Pistons exacta 33-1. Just saying.
Okay,
Judd. Okay.
All right. I like the Spurs team, but I'm just I love Wembanyama so much.
I know.
So it's just.
See, that's the thing. I really like this Spurs team. Love Wembanyama, and it's. A lot of people would say this. You just can't put a ceiling on the guy, right? Like I want to put a ceiling on that team. I can't put a ceiling on Victor Wembanyama though.
After we just saw, we actually have some news coming through here. We'll talk about when we get to the NBA next segment here. But before we get to that, we're going to bring in our very own VSiN host and, of course, the host of Should Have Bet More podcast at Not the Will Hill over on the Twitter machine. And he is, in fact, Will Hill. How you doing, buddy?
Boys, what's going on? Now I'm intrigued. What's the NBA news? I'm missing something, so I got to stay tuned here after my segment. That was a good tease.
We're gonna let Jalen Duren play in the All-Star game.
What?
But he's got a multi-game suspension coming for the fight.
When? Not right now.
This is the whole breaking news thing here from this. So it's like you can go play in the All-Star game.
This is a joke.
But then you're going to get suspended for after the game.
Sorry, Will. And if anybody's can hear it in my voice, yeah, I made bets. Expecting we were going to hear suspensions today, and was shocked a little bit that we didn't hear them last night.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's not saying that it won't come down, but it's definitely just saying that they're going to allow him to play in the All-Star game, despite the fact that there will be suspensions with all of this. So whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Nothing makes sense.
It doesn't.
Nothing makes sense with all this. All right, well,
it feels like the NBA is in for a rough weekend, though. With all the tanking stuff, the NBA is going to be on center stage. Their All-Star game hasn't been good in years. Their dunk contest, nobody's heard of these guys. It feels like maybe this is a tipping point here where instead of complaining about the tanking and it's bad for the league, that people actually come up with a solution and you figure out some way to legislate some of this out of the game. But we'll see.
We brought this up a little bit yesterday, Will. I mean, I don't certainly want to get to your college basketball plays, but we were kind of wondering, how do you even do it, right? Because, I mean, I've heard some of the stuff floated where it's like, well, then the bottom teams then play in a tournament to see who actually gets the first pick and stuff at the end. But, like, that still doesn't prevent tanking. They'll still want to get into that tournament to play for the first pick. And if anything, it might get some borderline teams to start tanking that normally wouldn't, because they're like, we're good enough to win that first pick. And then I don't know. I don't know what to do. Have you thought of what is your way for us to fix this?
I mean, I've heard what other people have heard too, and it's radical stuff that you get rid of the draft and you make it a very strict salary cap and you make all these guys out of college free agency. And if you want to spend $50 million on Peterson, that's fine, go do it. But that leaves you less money for the rest of the team. I mean, that seems extreme. You could just eliminate the lottery odds altogether and say, hey, whether you're OKC or whether you're the Sacramento Kings, you've got a 6% chance of getting it. It doesn't matter where you finish. So win games, lose games, it doesn't matter. You're all going to have the same number of ping pong balls. That seems extreme too, but at this point, like, anything's better than this. We're a week or so into February and you got a third of the league tanking. This isn't one or two teams the last week. This is pretty bad. So I think measures are coming, I would guess. Yeah,
I haven't heard, we talked about yesterday, I have not heard a perfect solution to this. I actually think my favorite is the first one that Will just said, where it is everybody's got a salary cap. You could spend whatever you want. These kids come out of college. It's just like an auction draft, right? It's what we do with NFL and stuff like that. It's whoever can make the best offer. You can get them, but you got to balance your roster and that money, for the entire team.
If we really want to really ramp this up, we have a lottery to see if there is a lottery or if it's a free agency or if it's so there's 10 ping pong balls with 10 different scenarios as to how it's going to play out in the offseason, and then we have a lottery to see how it plays out in the offseason.
I'm very for the idea of the in-season tournament for the tanking teams. I just don't really know, besides like me, who's going to watch that. Like I'll be in attendance for every one of those, but yeah.
All right, well, let's get over to college basketball, in which you have a ticket on Virginia Tech taking the dog at Clemson.
Yeah, tough spot for Clemson. They spent their entire week last week on the West Coast at Stanford, at Cal, and you look ahead at Duke this Saturday. So this is a little bit of a trap game, a spot situation here for Virginia Tech, who is still in the mix for the tournament. I think Lenardi has them as the 4th team out, so pretty firmly on the bubble. A win here would go a long way. So you got a motivated Virginia Tech team. You've got maybe a little jet-lagged Clemson team who's looking ahead to Duke, and you're getting a whole bunch of points here at 8.5. So these spot plays did pretty well last night. Miami in a good spot against UNC, who's off the big Duke win. Iowa State looking ahead to maybe Kansas and Houston. They had a little bit of a trap spot in TCU, and they lost the game outright. So I'll go with a spot here and take Virginia Tech plus the 8.5.
Let's head to the SEC, Ole Miss and Alabama. Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss catching a touchdown and a hook. No, 7.5 there. Ole Miss and Alabama. What do you like about taking the points here with the Rebels?
Yeah, I'll take the home dog here. I'm just not a fan of this Bama team. I know they're never great defensively, but this is just a lesser version even of past teams. And I know they can always make 22 threes on you and they're going to win. They're going to cover because they shoot so many threes. They're so high variance, but I don't like the way they guard. I think 7.5 on the road. You always talk about 7.5. That's a key number in football. It's also a key number in basketball because that is the point in college and in the NBA too, where, all right, if it's down 6, we might foul at the end. If we're down 7, it's 3 possessions. If there's 10, 12 seconds left, might just let the clock expire. So 7.5 is a key number. Ole Miss bettors deserve better the other day, and they played well against Texas. They were catching, I don't know if you guys saw this, they're catching 10, and they're up 3 with 3 minutes to go. They did not score the rest of the game and lost by 11 against Texas. So not Chris Beard's best team here. Definitely a down year. He's a good coach too. He's had a lot of success wherever he's gone here, but I'll take the home dog here with Ole Miss plus 7.5, and maybe Ole Miss bettors get a little revenge from that bad beat on Saturday.
Sticking in the SEC, Florida on the road at Georgia, 9.5. The line there in that one, 164.5 is the prevailing total, though it is a 164 flat out here behind me at Circa. What are you looking at? What are you looking at in this one?
Yeah, 164.5. That total tells you a lot. I think that might be the highest total I've seen all year in college basketball. If you look at the numbers, these teams are good for it. They run, they score, both up there in pace, both up there in offense. I like Georgia. I just can't quite get to 9.5 with the game in Georgia. I think with college basketball, especially Florida, and Georgia's got a good home court too, you got to give, I would say, the full 3 for home court. So if you just do the math, if this game were in Florida, you're talking about like a 15, 16-point line, 12.5 on a neutral. Florida's obviously really good, and they can rebound, they defend, they're a complete team. They're on the short list of teams that can win it all. I just think Georgia at home, the 9.5 is a touch too high. The market loves Florida. This got bet up from 6.5, but these bookmakers, they usually don't make 3-point mistakes in college basketball. So I understand the money coming in on Florida. I just think 9.5 is too many. So I'll plug my nose here and take Georgia. I do think this will probably be a good live betting game here with the high total. There'll be probably some wild variance, some wild swings in terms of the scoring here, but give me the home dog again here with Georgia.
Butler hosting UConn as 11.5-point dogs in that one. 144.5 is the total out there in that one, pretty much across the board. Well, you don't always have to bet a side and a total in the traditional sense. What are you looking at here in this one?
I'll go Butler team total under maybe 68.5 in that range, just because I want to back UConn after the loss against St. John's. We know Hurley, how intense he is off a loss. I'm sure they had some very unfriendly, intense practices the last few days. Problem is, I don't want to lay 11.5. You look at UConn, they're just constantly overpriced, taxed based on the reputation, 8-16 against the spread. I think the way you get on that is play the Butler team total under. The defensive intensity, I think, will be there. UConn plays at a slow pace. in terms of the possessions. So I think that they will show out here defensively and hold Butler down. I just don't want to lay the 11.5. Prefer the Butler team total under.
The take deserves more than 30 seconds, Will, but we got 30 seconds. Chargers 15-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Herbert can't win the big one, stinks in the playoffs. I know, but we just saw that with Sam Darnold. These guys can shed these tags. Their weakness this year was their offensive line. They're getting two of the best offensive linemen in football back. Good defense. Maybe the Chiefs down with Mahomes when the injury. I think at 15-1. I'd like a little more, but I think the Chargers are going to be very good next year.
You can find him right here on the network. Also, Should Have Bet More podcast at Not The Will Hill over in the Twitter machine. He is Will Hill. Appreciate the time, buddy, and good luck.
See you guys. Thanks.
When we come back, we'll talk some NBA, see what Kelly's got on his card, and maybe we'll get into a little NFL futures as well.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers game here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Kelly Bidland. We are sitting here trying to sift through NBA information, deciding are people going to play? Are they not going to play? Where are the suspensions? We know they're coming. When are they coming? How long are they going to be? Are people going to appeal? Are they going to try or just let it go? Like all of these different things, and yet we have gotten none of this information.
It's really odd, man. It really is odd. I don't even know what to say. Like Rod Boone, I just pulled this up. He covers the Hornets for the Charlotte Observer. He just tweeted out, pretty wild. The Hornets just wrapped up morning shoot-around, yet have no clue who won't be available in 8 hours when they host the Hawks. They're waiting on word from the NBA like everybody else. I don't know how you're reading into this. The only thing I could say is the All-Star break is clearly affecting this decision somehow, but I don't know what they're waiting for. We usually don't see an incident like that happen and then it really take this long to come out with an announcement.
So knowing, again, it is widely known in the NBA that they are partners with sportsbooks. They are partners in the betting industry. They understand the ramifications of not just a player, but multiple players potentially not being available.
Yeah.
For NBA teams and in games, and yet here we sit at. Let's remember, it's almost 11 a.m. East Coast. At almost 11 a.m. East Coast. They play a game
in 8 hours.
Yeah.
They just finished warm-ups with guys out there that they don't know if they're going to be playing or not.
Seems like a failure, in my opinion.
You and I were talking a little bit off air. Like I bet into one of these games. One of these games yesterday involves one of these teams. The numbers that were getting posted on overnights. First of all, I'm a little surprised some of the books didn't just decide not to post numbers for the games involving the Pistons and Hornets, considering we hadn't gotten news about this yet. And then I thought the numbers that were posted overnight were kind of indicating more that these guys were expected to play, most of them. So, yeah, I heavy leans to both the opponents of the Pistons and the Hornets tonight is what I was initially took it at last night. And I did make a bet on the Raptors here today.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe we will get something by the end of the show. Maybe we won't. Who knows? At this pace, if teams don't even know.
We've already hit the point of ridiculous. If there's warm-ups today and you don't know what's going on, it's silly. And I guess, I'm a little upset about it because I guess the longer this goes on, right, it feels like better chance that we're going to hear suspensions coming after the All-Star break or something like that.
Right.
Right. I mean, the longer it goes on, it's more unfair for these teams to not have a guy available in 8 hours.
Yeah, and it seems to me that I have no inside information on this whatsoever, but it seems to me like
I'm completely speculating.
I bet these teams were also preparing that they were not going to have these dudes because it seemed very obvious that they weren't going to have them. They're kind of like, wait, are we going to be able to play these guys?
I sure was.
Yeah.
I was preparing like these guys weren't going to be out here. Because it also okay, you brought up the appeal process. That is fair to bring up, but I guess the other thing that I kind of assumed with this, Matt, is okay, this happened. You've got one game left before the All-Star break. Take your suspension, start right, get that out of the way.
Exactly what I would have thought would have gone down.
So anyways, let's talk about some NBA games where we don't know guys are playing.
I was going to say, but instead we'll talk about NBA games that we're not 100% positive who is actually going to be out on the court. Let's start with one game that I know everyone's going to be paying attention to, and that's the Knicks and the Sixers, because you get one important game anyway, but two, you get this Knicks team that falls last night to one of the worst teams in the NBA. They find themselves as 2.5 point dogs here, Kelly. This was a little bit of a flip favorite situation. It opened at like a couple of books at 1 in favor of New York. So we did go through the 0 to the 2.5. 221.5 to 222 is the prevailing total here in this one, again, as the Knicks look to rebound. 3 monster performances from 3 of their players and still lost last night.
Yeah, they did. Overtime, I think the line movement, that's where I was kind of sitting on my computer watching it as that game was ending. Yeah, you had the New York small favorite, jump through the 0. Now we're at Philadelphia. I think that's the correct move when you see a game like that heading to overtime last night. Heavy minutes, right, from the Knicks stars. You've got Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby listed as questionable again today. Looks like Joel Embiid is going to go. This one I'm going to be monitoring for the day here, Matt. This is One that I had kind of circled, I liked Philadelphia when they were catching points. Okay, they're a favorite. New York went to OT last night, kind of a wash from that standpoint for me. You get a little bit more tired legs out there for New York if Embiid's going to go. The big key here for me is, do I get Embiid in, and does Mitchell Robinson not play? Because Embiid can beat up on Cat, and they don't really have enough of the size, I think, to slow him down. And Embiid continues to just play great basketball. Really never thought we were going to see him play at this level again. And that backcourt should be able to give Brunson problems after a long night for him. So slight lean to Philadelphia. It will be up on VSiN.com if I end up making a play on that one.
We got the Pistons and the Raptors. That's going to be 7:40 Eastern. The Pistons going to go on the road as 1.5-point favorites, at least as of right now. 222.5 up to 223. The total out there available.
Yeah, this is a bet for me. Bet it last night, Raptors plus 2.5. I think you're completely fine at 1.5 right now. This is, yes, I made this bet partially thinking that we were going to see Jalen Duren and no Isaiah Stewart. I think that you can say Jalen Duren definitely matters to the point spread. He matters. He has been that good, right? Isaiah Stewart, if it was just him, you might say he doesn't matter much to the spread. Okay, maybe a half point, something in that range, right? But when you're talking about the possibility of both of them being out, then you're talking about a completely depleted front court for Detroit, and that completely changes things, especially when Jakob Poeltl has been upgraded. It looks like he is questionable right now, but it looks like there's a good chance that he could go tonight for Toronto. I think that swings things heavily in Toronto's favor just from availability and what the roster buildup is going to look like tonight. Detroit got to make that trip to Toronto. We talk about Salt Lake City and Denver all the time. You'll hear quotes from the offseason. It flies under the radar often about NBA players hate making this trip to Toronto. It's the whole, you got to go through customs. It's just a longer trip than everybody thinks, as opposed to we talk about the altitude and everything all the time with Denver and Salt Lake City.
They put gravy on their French fries, all of these things.
They get that. That's a positive. That's a positive.
Oh, you're like, actually, that's why people want to go.
Positive, okay? Yeah. That's kind of where I started with things. If you just look back to past month, talking about Detroit 11-3, they got the best net rating in the NBA. They've been awesome. The offense is playing great alongside of the defense as well. This Toronto team, though, started off hot. This was a team I bet over on some win totals on. Liked their roster construction this year. I'm kind of glad that they just kind of hung tight for the most part at the trade deadline with this team. They went through a little bit of a low point kind of about a month ago. They're back on track, though, right now. This team 8-5 in their last 13, a 3.8 net rating. That's 8th best in the NBA over that time. Top 15 offense and defense unit. And with Poeltl back around, that defense has continued to get better. They missed a lot of games from him this season. Toronto 7-3 ATS in their last 10 games. So I did take 2.5. I think it's bettable at 1.5, or if you want to go even money on the money line, that works. But I bet it. I didn't bet it too heavy, Matt. Really hoping to see some confirmation news on suspensions for Detroit, and I will be back in on Toronto.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing here about this one, too, because it really does affects the prop market so incredibly heavily, too.
Amazing. Right? And we saw Paul Reed had a huge game the other night when he got in. He would be the guy for Detroit. If you're looking for rebound, someone's got to rebound the ball for Detroit.
That's the thing is, I think a lot of people, depending on how this all plays out, are instantly going to be gravitated to Cade Cunningham, but I don't necessarily know that he's the giant beneficiary of those guys not being in, right? I mean, he still has to do what he has to do no matter what. Right. And for this offense to function, it's not like, there's going to be more usage for Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham has all the usage as it is anyway, right? So I think people do get sucked into that when players are in and out of NBA lineups where you just automatically gravitate towards the star and think that that's going to affect him when really – their usage is so high as it is anyway, it almost can't go any higher. It's the other dudes that benefit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I think that happens a lot, and especially with this matchup, right? It's not just Poeltl possibly being in there for Toronto. If Detroit loses some of their big guys, just one of the things that makes Toronto a good basketball team is they have positional size everywhere, right? Scotty Barnes or Brandon Ingram, those are big dudes that they are playing that usually play smaller roles. Scotty Barnes will match up a lot with Cade Cunningham. I agree with you. Cade is not the person I would go to right away.
We'll swing back around to other games, but we did already mention this one just a little bit. So the Spurs and the Warriors, but you like the Spurs here in this one.
I do. This number has run out a bit. We're already 7.5. 8. I'll make a decision before the end of the show what I'm going to do with it. I had originally circled it before that game last night, I circled it as kind of a money line piece to look at today. I think you could toss in, I'll just throw out there, I think Nuggets, Boston Celtics. We talked a lot about some of these tanking teams yesterday. Celtics host the Bulls, Nuggets host the Grizzlies. These are big-time favorites, double-digit favorites you're looking at tonight. I think you could probably toss those in with the Spurs. However, with those limited minutes from Wemby last night, Matt, I might just be laying the points here with San Antonio.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
No Steph Curry.
Yeah,
right.
Even at the number here. Stephon Castle is questionable.
That's not small.
I would guess that he sits, like you said,